I am live. Wow. Okay, let me just adjust a few things. I actually thought it would be a little bit further, but... Ooh. How is everyone doing today? Hold on. I have to wait a little bit. Cool. I'm gonna wait till everybody comes back because I know that there's a certain time period. Oh wait, give me 1 second. Let me just get adjusted. There's that. There's that. Cool. How is everyone doing today? Today is what? Tuesday, right? Today's Tuesday. I thought I would come on live because there has been more new films popping up and I wanted to talk about them. I've said this again and again, but I might do a live every week because there's so many movies coming out every week, and instead of doing full-fledged reviews by itself, doing lives is just generally easier for me, so I can kind of talk to you as well as review all the films that came out this past weekend. And this past weekend, I think the two films that I'm going to talk about is Peninsula, the zombie film, which is the sequel to Train to Busan, the South Korean zombie movie, as well as Bill and Ted Face the Music. Those are the two films I'm talking about. There's so many other films that are coming out this week that I also want to talk about that I'm really, really excited for. So look out for that next week. If you want a little sneak peek, I am excited this week for Mulan as well as the Charlie Kaufman movie, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. That is the title. And so those are the two films that are coming out this week that I'm hoping to talk to you about next week. But for today, for this week, I am going to be talking about Peninsula and Bill and Ted. Let me see. Ping Pong Kimchi asks, how did you watch Peninsula? Great story. Because there's so many drive-ins that have been popping up, I watched Peninsula at a drive-in, which I will post a little mini vlog for you tomorrow, so look out for that. If you didn't see my last So's Film Diaries vlog where I went to Mission, is it Tiki Mission or Mission Tiki? Mission Tiki? Whatever the drive-in is, I went to that and I posted that vlog yesterday. So check that out on my channel after you watch this video. Yeah, it's been great. I haven't been at drive-ins in so long, so it was really refreshing to go to one. I think that because of the pandemic, so many things are now in cars. They're really transitioning, and hopefully more films are accessible that way because it's not like we're not gonna watch films. I've been watching a lot of the new films on VOD as well as these drive-ins. Of course, I'm planning on not going to an enclosed theater as of right now, but I'm glad that there are so many other options. I've been more watching things at home, which sometimes can be distracting, but I have been trying to implement certain things to, like, let's try to concentrate. So, man, which one should I talk about? Peninsula or Bill and Ted? They're both really intense in different ways. You know what? Okay, let's talk about Peninsula. Peninsula is the sequel to Train to Busan, which was a monster hit in South Korea and globally. If you want to watch it again, there's a live stream of me watching the film on my channel, so you can kind of like time it at the same time, so like we're both reacting to the same thing if you want. So I watched Peninsula, like I said, at a drive-in. It was really interesting because I didn't realize we're at a drive-in, and I hope that it wasn't dubbed, especially for the people in the back. I got pretty close up, and I was worried that it was dubbed. And if it was subtitled, I wonder how people in the back are gonna even be able to read it, right? So that was one of the concerns. But it was actually a pretty good experience. I feel like drive-ins are always places where it feels like a place where you can get murdered somehow. I don't know. It just feels like that sometimes. So it really heightened and like really set the mood. The only downside of watching Peninsula at a drive-in was the fact that it was so dark. The shots were so dark that because the environment wasn't pitch black, like it was really hard to see some of the scenes. But regardless, let's dig into Peninsula. So as you know, we all loved Train to Busan. It was nuanced, it was emotional, it was action packed. One of the scariest things about Train to Busan is the fact that the zombies were able to turn so quickly. On that note, I just remembered I talked extensively about Train to Busan with my friends on a podcast called Bunk 237. So go check that out. And we were just raving about why we love Train to Busan. So of course we were excited about Peninsula. Peninsula takes place 4 years after. It has, you know what? Let me see the real synopsis. It takes place 4 years after. None of the actors that were in the first film are in this film, which is interesting because you're kind of taking the same world but just expanding on it, which I don't know what other films have done that, but it's been interesting. So it's by the same director, Young Sang Ho. He's done a lot of great films. And he started animation because he has his own animation company, and then Train to Busan was his first live action film, and he's been doing a couple of live action films since then, and then now Peninsula, which on IMDb it simply just says sequel to the 2016 South Korean zombie film Train to Busan. Simply put, Peninsula is nothing like Train to Busan. So change your expectations or manage your expectations of before you go into the film, because some of you might be disappointed. What I will say is it's a total popcorn flick in that so action-packed. You want to see a lot of zombies killed, and there's a car chase. There's really, really dark things happening in this world. If you imagine a post 4 years after the start of the virus and thus far, don't know if it's a premonition of our future, but it was really just fun to watch. That's it. I think they were really lacking in character development. Like Train to Busan, the protagonist is like an anti-hero. We don't technically relate to him at all. We don't sympathize him. He's just there. And that was kind of the bittersweet part, is the fact that there wasn't enough emotional weight to him. I think in Train to Busan, the actor had his little daughter to kind of carry that, and so inevitably we kind of felt for him as a dad. But in this, it was not so much, which was such a shame. The lead actor is Kang Dong-won, who has been in the Korean film industry for a very, very long time. And to my surprise, there is another character played by Lee Jung-hyun, who was my favorite, like ultimate favorite singer in the 90s, and I had no idea that it was actually her in the film, which was so surprising. There's also a little girl, of course, in this film, and she was just so charismatic, and I really, really liked her. There are some other veteran actors here, as in... Oh. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually him. Oh, interestingly, when I look at the IMDb, Pierce Conrad, who has been a film critic for South Korea, is listed as a reporter in this film. Interesting. I wonder if it's the same Pierce Conrad. Probably, right? Anyways, so if you watch Train to Busan, please, it's not as good as Train to Busan, but it's still really thrilling. I liked all the characters. It reminded me more of Walking Dead because it's so bleak and kind of depressing at times and really, really dark. But at the same time, I think it's so weird because Young Sang-ho isn't the type to make a very popcorn, big action type of movie. Sure, we kind of saw in Train to Busan, but Peninsula, he really kind of indulges in that and makes it even more ridiculous, like more fights, more car scenes. Let's really amplify everything. And so sometimes it can kind of seem a little ridiculous, but at the same time, you know what? We're in a pandemic and we want to be drenched in the nonsensicalness and just enjoy something. And so this is the film if you want to simply mindlessly enjoy this, because you're not really going to get that much emotional substance, unfortunately. Sorry, let me read some of the comments. Young Dub, can't wait to see Peninsula. I recently watched Seoul Station, which is on Shudder. Yes, Young Sang-ho made Seoul Station before he made Train to Busan, and I felt like it was like the sequel, and now this is like the third part in his zombie trilogy, as you say. Out of the three films, Seoul Station is so dark, and the thing about his animation, because I don't know, I say this all the time because I love him and he's probably one of my favorite directors, but Young Sang-ho, I had a chance to meet him in 2013 when his animated film The Fake came out to AFI. I had a brief interview with him and it was really, really great. And then to see his career blossom in this way is so fantastic. But his origin story is from animation, and through animation he was able to make so many things and plot lines that you can't make with live action because it is almost like NC-17 level. So he was able to kind of tackle those things in his animation. So definitely watch Seoul Station. What? Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Ping Pong Kimchi said, nah, I haven't seen the second film. I don't want spoilers. I'm so sorry. I should have said spoiler alert in a way, right? I'm so sorry. Train to Busan don't need no sequel. Honestly, I prefer if it didn't have a sequel, but now that it's already made, I don't mind it so much. Jim Jam, tell me if So is going to tell some spoilers of Bill and Ted 1 and 2. Okay. Shall we talk about Bill and Ted? So I recently watched or rewatched Bill and Ted, first one and second one, so I could watch the third one. What I will say, spoiler alert, I don't know. There's not that much spoilers. If you know Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, it literally came out in 1989, which is when I was born. I truly cannot believe it. It was written by Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon. And it's because it came out way earlier. I didn't get to watch it till maybe I was in college. And let me just say, Bill and Ted, the third film, Face the Music, I really wasn't sure if it would work, because Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and then Bill and Ted's, what was the other one? Bogus. Oh, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which came out in 1991, so there was like a 2-year gap. I think when Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure first came out, critics hated it. They were like, this is not funny. This is like the worst thing. Of course, after a few years, it kind of gained a cult following, and that's how I heard about it. As you know, Keanu Reeves is in this, and he is so iconic, along with Alex Winter, who plays Bill S. Preston, Esquire, and Ted Theodore Logan. They are basically the gods of this world. Two seemingly dumb teens set off on a quest to prepare for the ultimate historical presentation with the help of a time machine. So it sounds pretty ridiculous. As you know, they time travel through a telephone booth. And when I rewatched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, as well as The Bogus Journey, Part 2, it was such of its time. It obviously, for one, a phone booth, nobody uses that anymore. There's so many archaic items, especially because a lot of it revolves around the mall. I grew up at the mall as well, but I don't think it has, the presence of the mall is not what it is now. I don't make sense. The mall was just more iconic in the 80s and 90s. It's just not as iconic as it was then. And so a lot of it feels like of its time. So when it came out, the news came out that they were going to make Bill and Ted Face the Music with Keanu Reeves, who is now, almost 50-something. I was like, oh man, I don't know how they're going to do it, because it is such a particular premise, and it is so of its time. And even in the trailer, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are in not dude wear, and they're not like rocker in their usual rocker wear. And I wasn't sure how it was going to translate, because they still kind of talk the same, like, what up, dude? Oh my god, dude, like, so that was one of my concerns. But I was so pleasantly surprised with Face the Music. It was really, really amazing. If you loved the first two films, you'll love this film even more, because it kind of takes everything that you loved about that film and kind of sets it in modern times. In that, of course, one of the best things about Face the Music is the fact that the original writers, Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon, wrote this one, so we're still in this world. They know this story better than anyone else. And then, of course, Keanu Reeves came back, Alex Winter came back, freaking William Sadler came back. Insane. As you know, the first two films had George Carlin, right? George Carlin? Yes. Iconic comedian George Carlin, and sadly, because he passed away a long time ago, I think, let's see, the wives came back. It says one of them, sadly. There's some scandal. You should read into that. It was like a little, I was like, why didn't she come back? But you should read that on your own. That's a lot to digest. But along with Bill and Ted, we have their wives in the story, as well as their daughters, played by Samara Weaving, who we've seen in a lot of films. If I show you a photo, you probably know. And Bridget Lundy Payne, who I haven't heard of, but they were both so fantastic in this. And the thing I really loved about this film is, obviously, they embody, like, Bill and Ted, they're best friends, and so they are traveling back and forth in time to find the music to save the world. I think Bill and Ted has always been a pretty optimistic film series, especially because a lot of the films that we watch are always about the apocalypse, the impending apocalypse that is coming. But Bill and Ted, it frames it as Bill and Ted are going to change the world. They're the gods. They're iconic figures or historic figures that will be remembered till the end of time. So Bill and Ted Face the Music focuses on this. Hold on. Okay, let me just read the premise. Once they've saved the universe during a time-traveling adventure, two would-be rockers from San Dimas, California find themselves as middle-aged dads still trying to crank out a hit song and fulfill their destiny. Yes. It's exactly that. And so I liked that this film really is something that you should watch during this pandemic. Is very different. We're going from Peninsula, which is very dark, to Bill and Ted Face the Music, which is so bright, it's so energetic, it's so funny still, and it takes everything that you loved in the first two films and sets it in modern day and shows you that the future relies with the future generation, hence their daughters. And they were able to incorporate their wives' story as well and really set the story to fit today's modern day how do I say, things that we care about now, basically. I feel like Gen Zers, I feel like they would love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and I don't know if they will get certain things because it's so, I don't even know if they remember phones that are attached to landlines, things like that, or I don't know. I just think it's really great that they were able to just reinvent and set it to this time period and still be so optimistic and funny. And Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, I thought they would be kind of stale sometimes and like overdoing it, especially because they are now middle-aged, but it really fit to their story where they're at in their age, as well as just, it was not corny. That's all I gotta say. It was not corny. I thought it would be, and it wasn't. I had so much fun, and it's really kind of emotional at the end because it is so positive. I think Bill and Ted has always been this beacon of light where they're like kind of oblivious to real life, and I think they're really going that way. So that's my 2 cents. Let me just read some of the comments now. Whoa. I heard Samara Weaving was casted because Keanu Reeves found out that she was the daughter of Hugo Weaving from The Matrix. Is she? I had no idea. Are you kidding me? Whoa. That is amazing. I'm gonna have to dig into that if that's true. Oh my god. There's a lot of comments that I will answer a little bit later. Which Bill and Ted film is your favorite? I still think the first one is fantastic. And then it's, I don't know. They're all really, really good for different reasons. I also didn't expect Bogus Journey to be so short. It's only an hour. I watched all 3 of these films on Prime Video. They're available there. I really liked the third film. It was just so beautifully done. Like it was really pitch perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. Everything it's just such a good, it's just a feel-good movie. There's some iconic characters that were in it. Kristen Schaal, is that how you say her name? She's most iconically known as Louise in Bob's Burger, which I really, really loved. Oh, there was a robot named Dennis Caleb McCoy who really stole the show for me. I really like that character. Not too many spoiler alerts, but a lot of the original cast, probably 90% of the original cast returns in this film, which is amazing, and I love to see it. It was, I didn't grow up with the film, but I feel like if you grew up with the film, you would be so nostalgic and just happy that they did the third film justice. That's what I will say. Jillian Bell is in this for a hot second. There's a lot of great people. There's a lot of great people. I highly recommend Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's funny that I watched Peninsula and then Bill and Ted because they're two distinctly very different films. And maybe if you watch it one after another, it will kind of balance things out because you don't want anything too dark and too light. I don't know. Jim Jam. How zombie dead humans stay alive if they only eat raw and rotten meat. I don't know this science question. Because that's what they're used to. Oh, Ping Pong Kimchi said, wait, sorry, Hugo Weaving is her uncle. Great. That's awesome. Jim Jam, what camera are you using during live stream now? I still use my phone. My phone is the most reliable thing. My computer, unfortunately, the camera does not work that well. So those are my two recommendations that of films that I watched last week. This week, as I said, I'm hoping to watch Charlie Kaufman's, I think, oh shoot, what's that called? Oh, damn you guys. Okay, sorry you guys. So Charlie Kaufman, I'm thinking of Ending Things. That's the film that's coming on Netflix on Thursday, and then Mulan's coming out on Friday. I know there's a couple more films coming out, but hopefully we can do this live again next week so I can talk about those films. As far as TV shows, I just finished Michaela Coel's I May Destroy You, which is on HBO, and it's so utterly fantastic. I think she said that she wrote like 100 and something drafts, which is insane, but it's a beautifully complex story. It it focuses on a very traumatic event that happened in her life, and this is a fictional version of it. And the way that it really just tells a story is so nuanced, and she's at a different level. Like I can't even fathom the amount of talent that she has because she's so smart. I have been a big fan of hers for a while now. She did Chewing Gum, which is on Netflix. It's a hilarious show. So check out that, as well as her new HBO show, I May Destroy You. I've said this before, but Michaela Coel basically turned down like $1 million deal from Netflix. Not because she hated Netflix, but because Netflix didn't want to give her the full rights to her own work. And so she really believes in owning your own work, which is very important to everybody. That's why she went with HBO. And I think it was like the best outcome for everybody. And it's really amazing what she's been able to do in 10 episodes or so. So that's a TV show I recently finished. I've been actually watching a lot of films lately. You could check out my letterbox. All the information of everything, all my social media, as you know I'm on social media a lot, is in the box below. You can follow all my info. I've been watching a lot of things. I should probably slow down a little bit so I can process, but this is where I am at in my quarantine pandemic journey. I'm just consuming a lot of things. My friend Joe is also in Cobra Kai, and I know that's on Netflix now, so I'm really excited to dig into that. Alrighty. There was another question from before. Let me just go back. Huh. I think somebody asked, wait. Did you watch Little Monsters, the Australian zombie flick? I did watch Little Monsters. I feel like I've watched every zombie movie out there. Truly. I had a huge zombie phase. And I feel like it's still going. But yes, I watched it. That's with Lupita Nyong'o. And I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. It features a lot of children and zombies. What could go wrong? I liked it. I don't love it, but I liked it. It was pretty great. Yeah. Anything? Wow, so many questions. Okay. What I will say, I wanted to make these lives pretty short and sweet. I guess just an update on me, even though I'll probably see you guys next week. I'm still working on my film, Liquor Store Dreams. I will probably send out an update this week if you are one of our crowdfunding supporters. But also, if you follow our Instagram at Liquor Store Dreams, I will update you there a little bit after, as well as, yeah, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on everything. So look out for that. We're still in the nitty-gritty of the film. It is not going to be finished in a while. I am working on other things on top of that. We're in a very crucial time right now. Before I leave, I will say, watch as many films, of course, as well as wear your mask, stay safe, register to vote. It is a critical year this year, so I am excited, as well as all these films coming out. As you know, it's September right now, and basically that means Halloween. So I am already preparing all the Halloween or horror films that I am hoping to watch. David Cronenberg's son, Brandon Cronenberg, just came out with a new film called Possessor, which the trailer looks insane. That dropped today, so watch that trailer. And yeah, I'm hoping to hopefully record some more videos. That's it for me. Any last questions before I check out? It's been a lot. If you can give me a thumbs up, do it. Oh, whoopsies. Beyond that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram at So's Real Thoughts, or whatever's in my box. It has all the information of whatever camera I use, the music, everything else. After this live, I'll probably list it with the time code, so look out for that, as well as the previous videos that I uploaded yesterday. Coming out with you another video tomorrow about Peninsula, but I basically already talked about it, so I guess you could watch it as a bonus round. I'm hoping to go to a lot more drive-ins, so I will keep updated for you on the best drive-ins in the Los Angeles area. The thing about Mission Tiki, I don't know, is it Mission Tiki or Tiki Mission? Whatever. Is that it's so freaking far away, but the plus side is that it's so dark that you could actually see the images. Whereas this new place that I went to, it was like not as dark. So that's a little tidbit for you all. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys once again, hopefully next week. maybe Tuesday, I will post it up. All right, bye guys.